Nanci Caroline Griffith. 39 år gammel, født i Austin, Texas. 15 år som artist og låtskriver, og i dag kanskje USAs fremste folk- og countryartist. En artist med et poetisk uttrykk, en evne til å skrive sanger med innhold som oppleves som korte noveller. På det beste, små perler innen den moderne amerikanske litteraturen hun selv føler seg inspirert av. Dette er hennes versjon av Speed of the Sound of Loneliness, hvor komponisten John Prine også er med.
You come home late and you come home early. You come home big when you're feeling small. You come home straight and you come home curly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. So what in the world's come over you? And what in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run.
Nanci Griffith har en unik posisjon og tilbringer mye tid i sitt annet hjemland, Irland. Hun er gudmor til en 4-åring i Dublin, som i sin fantasiverden har problemer med å forstå englevingene i denne videoen.
We just had a big party for him in January because he had a birthday, and we had a formal tea for him, and he was so excited that in the middle of the dinner he got up and climbed under my jumper into the back, and his mother was saying, "Aaron, what are you doing?" And he said, instead of crawling out from the bottom, he stuck his head out the top, and so it looked like I had two heads, and he said, "I'm looking for her wings, Mommy." Because I am his fairy godmother, and he just can't believe that the wings go away when I'm not in flight,
I 1993 gav hun ut albumet Other Voices, Other Rooms, en titel hentet fra Truman Capotes debutroman. Platen var en hyllest til den amerikanske folkesangen, og ble hedret med USAs fremste platepris, Grammy Award. Den solgte i Norge alene 30 000 eksemplarer.
And I gotta wear it in a jealous man. How can a love that would last forever get left so far behind? So what in the world's come over you? And what in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. It's a mighty mean and dreadful sight. This cross evil line within. How can you ask about mine? But we ain't got one word to say. So what in the world's come over you? And what in heaven's name have you done?
Nanci Griffith har de siste årene bodd i Franklin, like utenfor Nashville, Tennessee. Vi møtte henne i en periode hvor hun gjorde ferdig sin 11. plate, Flyer, nylig utgitt i Norge, denne gang en plate med egne Nanci Griffith-sanger. Omgivelsene bærer preg av at hun har gjort det godt rent økonomisk, gjennom et etter hvert bra platesalg og mye turnévirksomhet, men kanskje først og fremst som komponist og publisist av sanger til andre artister. Det er et langt steg til denne hverdagen fra hennes oppvekst i Austin, Texas, i en spennende brytningstid i det amerikanske samfunnet.
My parents were definitely West Texas, and, West Texas beatniks, I guess. They were very into the beat movement, and they were very active in the civil rights movement in the early 60s, and they're very unusual. You know, and very enlightened, especially for Texas. And I've always been very proud and felt very lucky to have had the parents that I've had.
Some stories you want to reveal from your school days? How were you when you were 13, 14 years old? I don't remember adolescence too well. I was a very small kid and a very late bloomer. I didn't get tall at all until I was 17. I started getting tall. But so I was kind of invisible, I guess you would say, as an adolescent. I was really small, really skinny, and very plain, and so it was quiet. I had a quiet adolescence. But you started already then to do some performing, 14 years old?
I started playing professionally when I was 14, and I had been playing music all my life, and writing music, and writing little short stories, and music and literature were my great escapes.
På Down on the Farm-festivalen fremførte hun Townes Van Zandts sang Tecumseh Valley. Van Zandt, en annen texaner som kanskje ved siden av Bob Dylan, er den amerikanske låtskriveren som nyter størst respekt hos andre låtskrivere.
This is a song all about a woman named Caroline. And my middle name is Caroline, so when I first heard this song at the age of 14, I paid attention well. And I've always owed Townes Van Zandt a great debt of thank you just for an adult life that didn't go wrong because of a character he wrote into a song in Tecumseh Valley, Oklahoma. Name she gave was Caroline, the daughter of a man, and her ways were free, and it seemed to me the sunshine walked beside her. She came from Spencer across the hill. She set her heart into, 'cause the cold was low, and soon the snow would turn the skies to winter. She said she'd go to look for work, and she was not seeking favor for a dime a day and a place to stay. She turned no hands to meet her. But the times were hard work, and the jobs were few. All the road to Tecumseh Valley. So she'd ask around, and a job she
gypsy salad. And she saved enough to get back home. The spring replaced the winter, but her dreams were denied. Her father died. The word come down from Spencer. So she turned the horn out on the street with all the lust inside her. It was many a man who turned again to lay himself beside her. Found her down beneath the stairs that led to Gypsy Sally. In her hand when she died was a note that cried, "Fare thee well to Coast the Valley." Near she came was Caroline, the daughter of a man, and her ways were free. Oh, it seemed to me sunshine walked beside her.
The music industry has been riddled with drug abuse and alcoholism and self-destructive. I think that creative people often internalize things very intensely and hence need that. But for me, when the opportunity knocked to be doing drugs or drinking too much, I opted to put gasoline in my car and get the heck out of Austin, Texas, because I found it so restrictive being in Austin. And it is a myopic town, just like Nashville is a myopic town. It doesn't believe that there is a world outside. And so getting out of Austin, Texas was really important to me. And I was very poor, and I, could either do as a lot of my peers had done, and that was do drugs, or I could spend my money and put gasoline in the car and get out and get across that Red River.
It's been a long way from the clubs in Austin that you were playing at to Carnegie Hall, Royal Albert Hall, even to down on the farm. I read that you started or did a lot of playing in the club called Hole in the Wall. Tell us a little bit about that club, please.
I played at the Hole in the Wall in Austin, Texas. The first 5 years it was open. I played every Saturday night and Sunday night. And it helped me through college. I mean, it was, the owner of the club, Douglas Cugini, has just always been a great person for me. I mean, he's been very supportive. But it is a wild bar. I don't think it's as wild as it was then. I mean, that was a long time ago, and it was definitely, it got wild in that bar at about midnight, and it was tough to convince people that they'd come in to hear music and
not drink too much and yell at one another and punch one another and throw up on one another. I mean, you know, it was a wild place back then. It's more of a music club now than it was then.
Dette hennes mest politiske sang, It's a Hard Life, Wherever You Go, et reflektert uttrykk for den politiske situasjonen både i Irland og USA.
I am a backseat driver from America. They drive to the left on Falls Road, and the man at the wheel's name is Seamus. We pass a child on the corner of the road, and Seamus says, "No one chances that kid up," and I say from the back, I don't know. Is this his barbed wire and all of these eggs? There ain't no place in Belfast for a child to go. 'Cause it's a hard life, it's a hard life, it's a very hard life. It's a hard life wherever you go. And if we poison our children with hatred, then a hard life is all that they'll know. And there ain't no place in Belfast for a child to go. The cafeteria line in Chicago, the fat man in the front of me is calling black people trash to his children, and he's the only trash here I see. And I'm thinking this man wears a white coat in the night when his children should sleep. They'll slip to their windows and they'd see him, and they'd think that white coat's all they need. This is a hard life, it's a hard life, it's a very hard life. It's a hard life wherever you go. And if we poison our children with hatred, then a hard life is all that they'll know. And there ain't no place in Chicago for a kid to go. It's a hard life. Now I was a child in the 60s. When dreams could be held to TV with Disney and Cronkite and Martin Luther. And I believed. Now I am the backseat driver from America, and I am not at the wheel control. And I am guilty, I am worn, I have been a root of all evil, Lord, and I can't drive on the left side of the road. 'Cause it's a hard life, it's a hard life, it's a very hard life. It's a hard life wherever you go. And if we poison our children with hatred, then a hard life is all that they'll know. And there'll be no place on this earth for our kids to go, 'cause we've made it this hard life wherever they go.
På forskjellige måter har hun markert seg sterkt for den liberale, demokratiske bevegelsen i USA.
The presidential campaign was so important, and the Texas gubernatorial campaign was so important because America had come into this time of irrational fundamentalist Christian people taking over the Republican Party. And I really felt like that if it was allowed to continue, that if I didn't have anything against George Bush as president, but I felt like if he was reelected, that these fanatics were going to eventually take over our country, and it really frightened me, and I still get very frightened about it. There's a line in Time of Inconvenience that I'm just one lonely woman out on the streets. I'm just one woman, you know. But there, hopefully, as one woman, I do a small amount to try to help the other people around me. And the one line about the right to life man has become my enemy is really talking about that fanatical, fundamentalist right, who are still alive and well in this country, and very frightening.
The moral majority?
Yes.
Yeah.
I noticed that always when you're performing, you have this button with LBJ on it, Lyndon B. Johnson, that is.
Is that a political thing? Or
The Lyndon Johnson pin that I wear, oddly enough, my sound man found that pin at a flea market in London a few years ago. But I was a big Lyndon Johnson fan because he was a pioneer in the civil rights movement in the United States. And he gets this terrible label of having been the, you know, person who escalated the Vietnam War. And then very few people look back at his record as a congressman to see what he actually did and as a pioneer of the civil rights movement. And he was a great man in that regard. And so I wear that pin with great pride because it reminds me that is my goal in life. The one thing that I dedicated my life to is the end of racism and intolerance within my lifetime.
This next song is a song that I recorded about Oslo, Norway in 1985. And it took me till 1993 to get here, so. This is a song from my Last of the True Believers album written by Tom Russell called St. Olaf's Gate. We're drinking black market vodka in the back of a Scotsman's saloon. And then it's red meat and whiskey like a coyote drunk on the moon. And outside in Oslo, the buskers all sing the same tune. And it's a waltzing Matilda while the bagpipes play Eau Claire de Lune. She was a lady, she came down from Bergen, she said. She spoke a little English, they laughed and drank whiskey instead. And in the morning he found a rose with a note on his neck. It said to meet me at midnight on the corner of St. Olaf's Gate. And here's to the ladies you love and you don't see again. The night is warm whiskey, the morning's a cold winter wind. And the blue-eyed Madonna leaves town while the drunken man waits. She leaves him standing alone in the shadow of St. Olaf's Gate.
It was the first time I played in Norway, which we really enjoyed. The people were just so enthusiastic and, you know, knew all the songs, and it made it a real pleasure to go someplace and have everyone know who you are.
And here's to the ladies you love and you don't see again. The night is warm whiskey, the morning's a cold winter wind. this next song in a while, and if it seems rusty, it's because we haven't been doing it. But y'all have been yelling for it. It's a song I recorded in 1986, written by a dear friend of mine from New York City by the name of Julie Gold. De lejos, de loin, aus der ferne, from a distance. From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow-capped mountains white. And from a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to fly. And from a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the voice of hope, it's the voice of peace, it's the voice of every man. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. And there are no guns, no bombs, no diseases, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments, and we're marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They're the songs of every man. God is watching us, el Señor mirará, Él nos servirá a usted firme. And from a distance, you look like my friend, even though we are enemies. And from a distance, I can comprehend what all these wars are for. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. And it's the hope of hope, it's the love of love, and it's the heart of every man. You are the hope of hope, you are the love of love. This is a song of every man. Oh, 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 oh.
Austin, Texas. 600 000 innbyggere, og etter hvert etablert som et av de viktigste miljøene for artister innen rock, blues og den alternative countrymusikken. Med mer enn 100 klubber og flere tusen musikere. Og i Texas-hovedstadens tradisjonsrike Paramount Theater ble Nanci Griffith i mars 1993 hyllet av sin by og hedret av en av USAs mest markante politiske profiler.
Nanci Griffith was good to me and played songs for me before I was governor and before she was famous. This is her last performance before she starts on her world tour and doing the European leg of it. And I know that they're gonna know that you can take the girl out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of the girl. Nanci Griffith!
Are you tired of me, my darling? Did you mean those words you said that made me yours forever? Since the day when we were wed, and tell me, would you live life over? Would you make another wife? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer me with your eyes. Do you ever rue the springtime when we first each other met? How we spoke in warm affection, words my heart can never forget. And tell me, would you live life over? Would you make another wife? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer me with your eyes. You think the bloom's departed from the cheeks you thought so fair? Do you think I've grown cold-hearted beneath the load of woman's cares? And tell me, would you live life over? Would you make another wife? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer me with your eyes. And tell me, would you live life over? Would you make another wife? Are you tired of me, my darling? Answer me with your eyes. Now I'd like to bring out the quintessential hero. Jerry Jeff, will you come join me?
Thank you. Are you going to do morning song?
Love to.
Thank you for picking it up.
It's always been your fave.
As the morning light stretched in across my bed, thought of you. Remembering your laughing eyes and always said, I love you too. And as all my thoughts of you pass for my face 1,000 times, the way they race my heart, I cannot say it all. line. Short time together lasts alone, makes me strong. As 2 weeks came and went, and you and I recall living on. For it seems our love was destined to be caught in other nets. But the love we held so brief, I'd chance again without regret. Yes, we're standing by the road, it's been my song before, much too long. But now somehow I'm forced to see me there once more. That's the song. And my waking thoughts of you are just stations of a dream. Without you here beside me, I'll never know all that they mean. So as the morning light stitched in across my bed, thought of you. Remembering your laughing eyes and always said, I love you too. And as all my thoughts of you pass for my face 1,000 times, the way they race my heart, I cannot say it all in lines.
Cheer Jeff Walker.
Som tekstforfatter er inspirasjonen fra den amerikanske litteraturen åpenbar. Små noveller har vært varemerke. Hennes siste plate har noe overraskende et annet utgangspunkt, et tilsynelatende mye mer personlig innhold.
It wasn't anything I consciously did to write, nonfiction, to write about my personal self. It just was a period of time that I was going through where it just came very easily. And in the past, I think I had difficulty writing about me because I thought it was boring. And my life hasn't been boring for the past couple of years. And maybe I've lived enough, now that I have things to write about in my own life.
So when we hear you singing Goodnight, Mother's Dream, that is Nanci Griffith who are telling that story.
It is, yeah. I mean, Good Night to a Mother's Dream really is kind of a real personal statement of mine. I'm, having been born in the mid-50s and had a mother who wanted more for her daughter than she had in the past, and wanted her daughter to be independent and not dependent upon a man for financial support, and to have a career and be productive and contribute artistically. Also, the sacrifice that comes with that is what the song is really all about.
The Flyer inneholder først og fremst egne sanger med noen få bidragsytere, blant annet denne legenden innen amerikansk country, Harlan Howard.
Well, Harlan Howard has been my best friend since I moved to Nashville.
I've been here 9 years. And I mean, I have just such tremendous respect for Harlan. And then, of course, he wrote everything from Why Not Me for the Judds back to I Fall to Pieces for Patsy Cline. And he's just an icon of songwriters. And we've never written together. And last year, I had started a song called Say It Isn't So, and realized that it just really belonged to Harlan, you know. So I called Harlan and said, we ought to get together and co-write this song that I started. And Harlan said, really? Finally, we're going to co-write a song. We're going to stay sober long enough while we're together to actually write a song. And so we got together, finished the song in about a half hour, and it's on the new record. And it's a first.
Innspillingen av Flyer foregikk her i Nashville, byen med en musikkindustri som ikke akkurat har omfavnet Nanci Griffiths stil. For den kommersielle countryindustrien har både stemmen og innholdet i sangene vært vanskelig å takle. Så langt har hennes sanger først og fremst blitt store suksesser i USA, når andre artister har framført dem, som Willie Nelson og Susie Bogus.
So who's playing guitar here now?
That's me on acoustic guitar, Peter Buck from REM on electric guitar.
Time of Inconvenience.
Right.
So Nanci, when you first started this album, what kind of album were you set out to make?
I really wanted to make an album that the natural progression from spending a couple of years with my history in folk music was in going on to remember skiffle music, because I love skiffle music so much, and early rock and roll, which I guess in the United States early rock and roll was skiffle music. So it was just, that's what I started out with on this album, but instead of going back and doing older songs by other artists, I wrote all the songs this time. So with the exception of one, there's one Julie Gold song on this album. She's the woman who wrote From a Distance. And she had written a song called Southbound Train, which I recorded on this album. But so I guess basically we just followed that rule of production, that we wanted a skiffle sound.
There isn't any danger in being a folk musician and mixing rock and roll into it? I mean, a lot of the purist folk music people, they would not like that you have too many modern instruments in it.
Oh, well, there are no modern instruments. I mean, Larry Mullen played all of these percussion things. There's no electronics. I mean, it's all, you know, he played 100 different instruments, you know, percussive instruments. And, you know, it's still folk music. There's still, all of my acoustic guitar is still there. It's just a different side, a different sound.
Modern sound, of course.
I don't know if you would call it modern, because songs like Time of Inconvenience and This Heart, they're very much in a skiffle pattern, you know, guitar, acoustic guitar and rhythm guitar, and you know, it's still folk music, and it's still Nanci Griffith songs.
Well, I wanted to play the title song for the new album for Bjorn, and this is a song called The Flyer. And the reason the album is called Flyer is because I came up with this word to match coincidences of running into people around the world. And as much as I travel, I'd run into people who really affected my life and affected the way I felt about things. And in this particular song, it's all about meeting an Air Force pilot on a commercial flight that I took once from Texas to London. And he just really impressed me. And we got stuck in a storm. We're sitting on the ground on the tarmac for hours and hours. And I hated to see him go off to another part of the United States and me go on to London. And I thought about him during the Gulf War and wondered where he was, and also came up with that word of finding one word to describe the coincidences of running into people that you seem to have a great propinquity with.
He was a flyer for the Air Force on a plane from San Antonio. I was traveling to London, he was going off to Buffalo, changing planes in Pittsburgh. But we got grounded in a storm. La 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 la. I would give anything to be all
flyer's arm. And we played the cards and mostly blackjack as we sat out on the tarmac, and we sang the songs we knew in Spanish, cause we both loved songs of language, and he'd heard me on the radio. I'd seen the flyers of San Antonio, la 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 la. I would give anything to have that flyer for my home. God bless the flyer who would be flying home tonight, la 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 la. 'Cause I would give anything to see that flyer flying tonight. He said he'd never marry, 'cause his heart was in the clouds. And I said I was too clumsy, that I broke the wings of the loves I found. And he shouted out his name to me as I ran to make my flight, la 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 la. I would give anything to see that flyer flying tonight. 'Cause God bless the flyer would be flying home tonight, la 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 la. I would give anything to see that flyer flying tonight. One year I watched the war in London and an airport leaving London, and I wondered if I'd know him if I saw his wings in motion. Did I leave my heart in Pittsburgh in the lightning of that flight, la 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 la. I wish that you could tell me now, will he be flying home tonight? 'Cause God bless the flyer would be flying home tonight, la 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 la. I would give anything to see that flyer flying tonight, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la.